The Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist versus the Mishima style fighting karate. Garou and Kazuya Mishima are two crazy good martial artists who dominated most of the other styles in their verse, fought slowly and eventually became a threat to the world, and managed to reach a certain level to become among the top tiers in their verse. Now these couple of days I've been playing Tekken 8 non-stop. Being a person who played every single Tekken game, the fanboy in me couldn't help but wonder how would a fight between Kazuya and Garou be. Heck, I even thought of Heihachi and Silva Fang also being a crazy good fight. So in this video, we will be playing Garou's episode in Tekken 8, where he eventually pairs up with Kazuya in the Iron Fist tournament. How would that fight go, and who would be the last one standing? We will also definitely uncover which threat level Kazuya Mishima would be in the One Punch Man verse. Having that said, do not forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell for more of these cross-verse matchup videos. Thank you so much. Kazuya Mishima is the first protagonist of the Tekken series. He is the son of Kazumi and Heihachi Mishima, got trained to use the Mishima style by Jinpachi at an early age. He awakened his devil gene powers due to a near-death experience after being casted off a cliff by Heihachi. The devil genes granted Kazuya supernatural abilities such as super strength, telekinesis, and the ability to fire off lasers. He can also shift to a new form called the Devil Kazuya form, where he gains more abilities in addition to the previous ones getting considerably amped. Now, to properly scale Kazuya, it's pretty important to understand that Tekken holds very shaky story events, since it's pretty hard to distinguish between what's canon and what's not. Tons of cinematic endings throughout the whole franchise. Some endings are generally accepted by the fanbase and believed to be true due to not being contradicted in the canonic events of the latest games. The reason this information was needed to be displayed is because in Tag Tournament 2, specifically Jack's 6 ending, he performs this crazy feat of which he manages to destroy and briefly hold the kinetic energy of an asteroid 6 miles in diameter, with the fanbase mostly not taking in consideration that Jack used multiple punches to take down the asteroid. This feat was calculated to be in the 6C tier range, which is island level. You see, if you choose to accept this as canon, then most characters who casually tangle with Jack should be at least at the same level, with the top tiers like even base Kazuya should be stronger than this. This could be further supported by Gun Jack's feat in Tekken 3 ending, where he tanks a satellite beam that has enough energy to destroy a city. This Jack is considered to be a 2 times downgrade to Jack 5 in Tekken 5, where multiple ones were getting casually one-tapped by both Heihachi and Kazuya. Not only that, but Heihachi survived a point-blank mountain explosion by multiple Jacks, and since base Heihachi and base Kazuya at this point are relative to each other, this makes base Kazuya range from large mountain to island level of AP. However, what about true Devil Kazuya? First, let's talk about Jinpachi and Azazel both having destroying the world or wiping humanity statements. Because of this, people jump to conclusions that these two should be planetary. But wiping humanity and destroying the world could mean a lot of things. Nina Shirley in the beginning of Tekken 7 stated that Jin Kazama has saved the planet by defeating Azazel. But again, even this could mean a lot of things. By stopping him from wiping out all living things in the world could still be considered saving the planet. This certainly doesn't mean that Jin from Tekken 6 is planetary. Not to forget the fact that both Jinpachi and Azazel never reach their final forms. However, in Tekken 8, prior to Kazuya attaining his true devil form, he specifically stated that those who fail to prove their might shall be wiped from the earth along with their country, with eventually absorbing Azazel, who was already a threat to humanity. Along with his existing devil powers, he should range from continental to multi-continental levels of AP, and if you want to wank him, he could be planetary. Now, one thing I want to say before talking about speed, it should also be worth noting that both Jin and Kazuya in their base survived the fall from space and the impact of the falling rock back to Earth. However, at the same time, Angel Jin in Tekken 8 blocked Kazuya's dark ball of energy and throws it into the sea. That attack was stated to be capable of wiping out the entire island of Yukishima off the planet. Now this certainly doesn't mean it's his strongest attack obviously, since he goes to perform even stronger attacks after, but wiping out an island should be beneath what they can actually do at this stage. But nonetheless, we will still be taking the first meta in this matchup. Some people like to scale him to Akuma's feats in Street Fighter comics. However, even though he is canon, the Street Fighter and Tekken Akuma are two different versions, and thus they cannot be scaled to be the same person. Now, when it comes to speed, it's pretty easy and straightforward. Kazuya in the beginning of Tekken 7, also replicated in Tekken 8, used his Devil Laser Beam to destroy a satellite up to space in his base form. This was counted to be easily relativistic. Characters like Heihachi and Akuma legit dodge and intercepted this laser easily. Means it's not just the speed of this beam that moves this fast, but also they can be relative to its perception and combat speed wise. Heck, even prior to this, Gunjack reacted to a sub-relativistic laser beam to protect himself and the child by putting a barrier around them. With the multiple amps Kazuya attains with his Devil and True Devil form, he should be at faster than light range of speed. Kazuya Mishima is also a very tenacious and a hard to break figure. Even if it means his demise, he continues fighting to the end and refuses to give up. But how would he fare up against the hero hunter Garou? Now, I have already made 2 videos featuring Garou in my channel, you should go and check them out. But as always, I'll make sure to give a brief summary of who he is and what he can actually do. Garou is considered to be a martial art prodigy, got trained to use a very complicated style called the Water Streamlock Smashing Fist by Silver Fang, who he himself is considered to be one of the best, if not the best, martial artist in the verse. His ultimate goal is to be the symbol of fear, a monster who always gets the dub against heroes no matter what. Now, how strong is Garou? The version of Garou we would be using are Half Monster Garou, and after that we would be scaling his monster form directly. Half Monster Garou is the one who tanked hits from Rover, fought Orochi, one-shotted Puri Puri, and eventually fought against Darkshine. So generally speaking, this Garou should already have solidified himself to be a dragon. Reason this is important is because being a dragon in most parts, not all the time, qualifies you to become a cadre. According to Super Mouse, a demon level monster, the hierarchy tier, which is the cadre, is based on destructiveness. While I would admit this isn't really the case most of the time, since disaster rating or cadre placement is only loosely correlated to destructive power. Take characters like Flashy Flash, Gums, and Neon, who do not have any destructive capabilities but are still considered to be dragons, and 2 of them are cadres. On the other hand, a destructive character like early Genos is considered a demon and loses easily to them. However, this would still apply on a cadre who relies on destructive powers as his main method of fighting. Overgrown Rover should be more destructive than Evil Eye, who can generate small hurricanes. This feat was counted to be at least large mountain level of DC. And to make a long story short, Half Monster Garou was tanking hits from a cadre who is certainly above Evil Eye. Garou continues to adapt and evolve, gaining more speed and raw power to eventually fight Darkshine. Darkshine charged at him with an immensely strong attack that a technique specifically made to reflect physical attacks did not work. This certainly dealt more damage than what Overgrown Rover's blast did. Makes both Garou and Darkshine by the very least island level of AP. Speed on the other hand is much easier to quantify. There are multiple cacks that puts way inferior characters to be massively hypersonic and massively hypersonic plus. I might also add that a way early on Genos dodged multiple lasers that contains the property of light, and the Awakened Cockroach claims he can react at the speed of light. The Monster King Orochi legit caught Awakened Cockroach quite easily even though he was missing his feet, but Garou was much more impressive than that since he dodged multiple of Orochi's horns and was getting faster during the fight. Strictly speaking, this does not mean every demon level threat is capable of reacting and moving at such speed, as in every category, each individual specializes on something, and therefore that's why matchups matter in One Punch Man. Now moving on to monster form Garou. Starting with speed, it's particularly easy to find out how fast he is, and that's by looking onto his fight with Flash and Platinum, who both can move faster than light by statements and calcs. Not only did Garou surpass them in no time, but got 3 more additional forms right after, completely solidifies him to be faster than light plus. Now moving to AP, narratively speaking, based on the last panel of chapter 115, God should have seen how Saitama stopped Orochi's Gaia cannon with his serious squirt gun. However, he still sent Sage Centipede to deal with Saitama despite knowing how strong he is at that time. Although I'll say there are many factors that could change this interpretation for sure, but for now, this places perfected fist Garou above Sage Centipede, who narratively should scale above Orochi's Gaia Cannon. That attack was calculated to be small planet level of destructive capacity. Gargoyle Garou with Fajin should be much stronger than that, and by the very least should make him range from small planet to small planet plus. Now it's important to understand that Garou's true strength lies on his complete mastery over martial arts and the ability to adapt, copy, and grow stronger during the fight. The more he fights, the more his chances of victory decreases. Now would Kazuya be able to deal with Garou? Kazuya vs Garou is a fight that comes down to martial arts and physical abilities at the end of the day. Both, as we've said before, are very similar and does not hold a complicated or a very different power system. They use martial arts and they transform, and that's pretty much it. However, there are still a couple of things I did not mention in scaling these two characters that is somehow relevant to the outcome of this matchup, such as Fajin being able to bypass one's durability by hitting the organs directly from the inside, and Heihachi, who is relative to Kazuya, somehow being able to survive Akuma's Wrath of the Raging Demon that is said to hit the soul directly. Now the stage is set and Garou reaches Kazuya in the Iron Fist tournament. Kazuya would start in his base and Garou is already in his half monster state. You see, technically both has enough attack potency or physical strength to hurt each other if they manage to connect. After all, Kazuya scales to mountain or island level just like Garou at this stage, and in terms of speed, even if you lowball Garou and don't think he has light speed at this point, he would still be relative to Kazuya, who scales to sub-relativistic to relativistic speed. You see, in terms of physical stats, they are pretty solidly tied if you lowball Garou's estimation of speed. With this, the two remaining indicators that would eventually determine the verdict of this matchup are martial arts and innate talent. Which one is more superior in those aspects? Now, although the Mishima style fighting karate is considered to be the best martial arts in the Tekken series, it's still a novice style compared to what One Punch Man has to offer in terms of martial arts. The Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist is indeed the most pressing ability Kazuya needs to deal with throughout the whole fight. The Mishima fighting style is just a magnified karate, while the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist is the perfect offensive and defensive technique, capable of redirecting hits and returning them with double the force. In this aspect, Garou edges Kazuya quite a lot. There are no factual evidence to prove that Kazuya can handle this type of technique. But don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not saying Kazuya would not be able to land a single hit on Garou. I'm just saying this basically means Garou would just be able to land more with superior force and can employ the multiple styles he has in his arsenal to quickly cripple and defeat base Kazuya. Now what about True Devil Kazuya versus Gargoyle Garou or Monster Form Garou? In this version of this battle, it actually quite ironically holds the same outcome. They both should scale to planet level if you highball Kazuya based on Azazel and Jinpashi's statements. However, Kazuya would poorly be significantly slower than Monster Garou. Even prior to reaching his final form, Garou was moving faster than light with Platinum S and Flashy Flash, and with Gargoyle Garou being at a lowball estimation 2 times amp, it's pretty apparent that Kazuya simply being faster than light would not cut it against Garou. This actually would result in a low to mid diff conclusion, considering the difference in speed and martial arts between them is so large. Even if you highball Kazuya Mishima's True Devil form to be faster than light plus just like Garou, we will only circle back to the first conclusion and Garou would win regardless due to his martial arts usage being significantly better than Mishima style fighting karate. Fajin would eventually break Kazuya's durability and this would not be close. Now when looking at this fight without highballing Kazuya's speed and attack potency to match the statement of Azazel and Jinpachi being able to wipe out the entire world, the gap between them just keeps getting larger and larger. His maximum AP and speed respectively get massively blown out by Garou. This in any case or possible scenario would be a Garou victory and a Kazuya loss. Now where would I scale Kazuya in terms of threat level in the One Punch Man verse? Even base Kazuya would respectively be a dragon level monster. He would be definitely a threat to multiple cities. As for True Devil Kazuya, high dragon to above dragon seems to fit him pretty well if you take the planetary or the multi-continental end. With all of this being said, I have only one thing to say to you. If you match up with me in Tekken 8, I promise you, this wouldn't be close at all. because I'll lose. You guys take care, okay? This feat was counted to be in the 6. This feat was counted to be in the 6C tier range. This feat was counted to be in the 6C. This feat was counted to be in the 6C tier range. This feat was counted to be in the 6C tier. Now, where would I scale Kazuya in terms of threat level in the One Punch Man? Even if it means his demise, he continues. But also they can be relative to it perception and combat. With the top tiers like even base Kazuya should be stronger than this. With the top tiers like even base Kazuya should. Oh my god. You guys hear that? That's wind. That's literally wind. Kazuya Mishima is also a very tenacious and I knew this one is gonna be super hard to say. Why did I even write this on the scripts? Kazuya Mishima is also a very tenacious and oh my god. That was weird. Kazuya Mishima is also a very tenacious and unshakable figure. Holy shit, I said it. The gap between them would just keep getting larger and The gap between them would just keep getting larger and larger. Oh my god. The gap between them just keeps getting larger and larger. Oh my god.